Since 2015, Pop Health Podcast has brought to you some of the best minds in healthcare, including leaders from government, not-for-profit, and investor-backed powerhouses, as they share successes, failures, and how our audience can move forward in today's constantly evolving healthcare world. Thank you for joining us for today's episode presented by 24 Hour Home Care. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pop Health Podcast. I'm Gavin Ward, host of Pop Health Podcast. In today's episode, I had the opportunity to sit down with two leaders from InnovAge, one of the nation's largest PACE providers. Both Shadie Qaqish and Maria Lozzano joined today's episode to talk about the growth of PACE throughout the country over the past few decades, how InnovAge has played a crucial role in that growth, and how ultimately PACE might be a great fit for individuals aged 55 plus. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Feel free to check out other episodes of Pop Health Podcast by visiting us at pophealthpodcast.com, checking us out on our YouTube channel, or visiting us wherever you listen to your shows. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy today's episode. Maria and Shadie, thanks so much for joining the show today.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I've known about PACE for a long time. I know about InnovAge for a long time. Our audience has been asking questions about PACE. We haven't had a ton of episodes on it, so we really appreciate you guys joining today. You may be familiar that when we kick off our shows, we get to know the guests a little bit on the fun side, I guess you can say. So let's start with you, Maria. How about a fun fact, something about you perhaps outside of the workplace?
Outside of the workplace, well, I have to say that cooking is my passion. Absolutely. I enjoy practicing all the recipes that I learned from my grandma and my mom, and they're both such extraordinary women taking care of their family that to me is just carrying on that legacy. And I love doing that for my family and my friends. So that's what I do when I'm not working at PACE.
Any type of food, or what's like a dish that folks
Absolutely.
love?
Well, I'm originally from Argentina, but I've been an American citizen for over 25 years. So we love our traditional meals, and empanadas or pasta. Those are things that I absolutely love, and I enjoy cooking.
That's great. Well, for me, when I hear Argentina, of course, I think Lionel Messi, the World Cup. I'm a big soccer fan. So
now you think about Maria and PACE. How about that?
That is a very good plug. Well done. And Shadie, how about a fun fact for you?
All right. So yeah, my professional life revolves around seniors and senior care. My personal life revolves around children, my children. You know, my wife and I, we're very heavily involved in youth sports, Little League and soccer, and then Sundays, regular attendance at our church and involving ourselves with the youth groups there as well.
Oh, I love hearing that. And do you ever have conflicts where, so for example, I'm an AYSO soccer coach. Yes. And as my son's gotten older, the games are on Sundays. I'm like, oh no. So I've lowered myself to the assistant coach so I can still try to be involved. Is that hard to balance sometimes? Your Sunday commitments, your sports, balancing all that?
They're still young enough to where their games are on Saturdays, and Little League is Saturdays and during the week. My oldest wants to play basketball, but he cannot because the games are on Sundays in the local league. But we'll see if we can't find another league here in the next year or so.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I got to put soccer into both of your fun, or kind of sort of into both of your fun facts.
You did it.
All right. Awesome. Well, let's jump into why you're here today, which is for us and our audience to learn more about InnovAge and also PACE. We've had a couple episodes that touch on PACE, but it's been a long time. So maybe I can start with you, Maria. Can you remind us and the audience what PACE is?
Absolutely. PACE is a program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. What it truly means is giving seniors the care and support they need to live at home independently for as long as is safely possible. Our program provides 24/7 personalized care to our seniors, and it comes at no cost. If you are Medicare and Medicaid or Medicaid only, PACE is a benefit that the state of California offers as well as many other states. Under the PACE umbrella, there are a variety of services that include transportation, primary care, specialty medical care and coordination for that, dental work, social work, behavioral health, home care, nutrition, counseling, you name it. Recreational therapy is not just the care aspect of of PACE that is important, but it's also all those other elements that allow seniors to thrive. It's a very comprehensive program. We do believe that PACE is the best kept secret in healthcare. We really believe that. And it's our goal, as well as the Trade Association and the National PACE Association, to break barriers and really bring PACE to every community that needs it. The level of care that participants receive with PACE that we are able to provide not only assists them to live their best life, but it also aids the families. Caregiving burden it's a real thing, and being able to support these participants also aids their families, and that is something that we're very proud of.
Okay, awesome. So the word elderly is in there. So I guess in order to qualify, you have to be a certain age. Can you tell us about the qualification process?
Yeah, absolutely. So seniors qualify for PACE if they are 55 years of age or older. I know generally we think senior care, we think 65. Guess what? PACE is aiming to serve those from 55 and up so that we can maintain and improve quality of life long term. So I like to think of the PACE life cycle in terms of qualification. There are going to be folks that qualify just needing assistance with a few of their activities of daily living. That means more functional, transferring, mobility issues, things like that, things that we could resolve with good care coordination within our centers. And then there are folks that are towards the end of the PACE life cycle that it may be more about maintaining their quality of life as opposed to even improving it if they were earlier on. And so we serve the whole spectrum, folks that need support with activities of daily living, 55 years of age or older. And importantly, they have to be in one of our assigned zip codes. So every PACE organization across the country is assigned zip codes with the state and CMS that they can serve. And so look up your local PACE programs. CMS, NPA, they all have resources to find those programs and see if they qualify, see if there's one local.
Okay, and the NPA, I'm guessing National PACE Association.
National PACE Association. It's like the National Trade Association that all PACE organizations, or most PACE organizations, participate in. We learn from each other and bring best practice to the community. We have email blasts. It's a pretty neat organization.
Okay, and there's also a California association too, right?
Yes, there is. CalPACE. I'll let Maria talk more about CalPACE.
CalPACE, the California PACE Association, is a very, very proud association, and we are very proud of being part of CalPACE. 5 of the founding PACE programs are here in California, so a lot to learn from them, and we get a lot of support from that group of people, great group of professionals, and every year it continues to expand just because PACE is growing within the different communities in California. So there is a strength in numbers, and yes, definitely a beautiful group of people to be part of.
Okay, a quick clarifying question, Shadie, with the zip codes. So if I have a family member who is interested in being a participant for a PACE program, would I have choice in certain zip codes, or is it just one PACE program per zip code? How does that work?
Thinking nationally, there are some PACE organizations that are the only organization assigned to a certain zip code. Now, there are some states, including California, where more than one PACE organization may have a zip code that they're able to serve. And so there would be some choice involved in that. Reach out to all your PACE organizations, learn about them, see what the best fit is for you. It's about growing PACE for us and boosting other PACE organizations as we go as well.
So Maria, back to you you mentioned the 5 of the founding PACE programs. Can you tell me if that's federally? Is that state? What do you mean by that?
What we mean is that if it's down to the logo of California PACE, it has different leaves, representing different trees. And what it is the first initial programs that came or opened up in the state of California. Okay. So likely one of them was the first in the nation, and probably it is, which is Unlock. Now, InnovAge has been in Colorado and started in Colorado about 35 years ago. So a long time ago, right? We have a lot of history. We have a lot of knowledge around PACE, but it's really good to really recognize that California has been a pioneer for PACE, and we have a lot of strength and a lot of knowledge in the state.
Okay, awesome. So I know that PACE is throughout the country. You guys have talked a little bit about how PACE is throughout the country. I want to ask you more about your organization in particular in a moment. But I'm curious, like you mentioned, it's a secret almost. So for those that know about the secret, has it been like a accepted secret? How's society accepted PACE versus like folks on other health plans or healthcare delivery systems?
Yeah, it's difficult to accept something you don't know about. And the problem that we've incurred so far is nobody's learned about PACE over the last 30, 40 years, right? Or not nobody, but only a handful of individuals, a handful of communities have been able to be served by PACE. So those communities that have been, when we enter new areas, new states, as we grow in California, as more programs open in California, the secret's out. And people look at us and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is what we said earlier. It's the best kept secret in healthcare. There's no better design to serve an individual, whether it's a senior or a youth or adult, than an all-inclusive care model full of care coordination. And so for seniors 55 and older to be able to receive that level of care coordination, there's been increasing support for PACE in California, in more states than we've seen before. And so now it's even reached national levels where there's PACE Anytime Act. The Veterans Association is opening the doors to more PACE organizations to enter and serve veterans as well. So
awesome. Now I know PACE programs have brick and mortar right to it. Like there's a physical center, and I've heard folks tell me one of the reasons PACE may not have been as rapidly growing is the infrastructure cost to even build a program can be quite high, right?
Yep.
Yes, I mean it's a big investment, not only on real estate but resources, and it takes time and it takes experience, and yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, well, let's jump into your organization, InnovAge. So I've heard of InnovAge for a long time. You mentioned you've been in Colorado for a long time. Shadie, why the name InnovAge?
Why the name InnovAge? Well, if you break it down into two words, it's innovation and aging. So what we like to think of what we're doing here at InnovAge is innovating the aging process. And through that innovation, we're improving quality of life for seniors across the country.
Okay. Maria, earlier you mentioned Colorado, been there for a long time. Can you give us just InnovAge history, background, that type of thing?
Absolutely. InnovAge first opened in Colorado about 35 years ago and has grown in many states across the country. A very proud organization. We understand, look, that healthcare happens locally, and we are dedicated to expanding the successful program that we have built to serve as many seniors across any markets and cities that need it. In the last year, we have opened new state-of-the-art facilities in Tampa and Orlando. We are absolutely proud of that. We have a joint venture with Orlando Health, which is a pillar of the community. We acquire assets from Concerto Care in Southern California late in 2023. I'm here today in our beautiful Crenshaw Center. Each of the center's openings enables us to expand our enrollment and expand our services to as many deserving seniors and communities as we can. We are really, really proud of how our California centers are performing, and we have an amazing leadership team. But as you know, we are in Colorado, New Mexico, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. And we are committed to our mission to bring PACE to every community that needs it.
That's cool. I've actually been to and received a tour of the Crenshaw location before, and I was blown away. I think maybe one of the folks who may not work in healthcare, I think one of the stereotypes might be, okay, a building for older adults. Okay, I can kind of imagine, what that might look like. And it was a little bit. I guess I wouldn't necessarily think of a lot of technology, a lot of modernization, but it absolutely was, right? And the folks, there's a lot of energy. The staff were super warm and welcoming. Parking in LA can always be a little tricky, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, it was the building's relatively new, right? Not that old.
Yes. Well, the building was recently fully renewed. And I have to say, healthcare facility doesn't need to look and feel like a skilled nursing facility.
Yes, that's what I thought.
There are skilled nursing facilities in the community, and they serve a purpose, and we work with them, absolutely. But this is not a 24/7 in the center, right? This is a center that is open Monday through Friday. People come in, they get greeted by their interdisciplinary team, which is 11 different disciplines taking care of people, from physicians to drivers, recreational therapists, dietitians. We offer meals in the center. It's restaurant-style meals that are like absolutely nutritious, based on the nutritional needs of our participants. It's an experience, right? And we're here to deliver and serve that experience. So that is our commitment. We don't have patients, we have participants. And that is a big difference, right? To be able to participate on your plan of care, it just changes the conversation. It really changes the conversation for both the participant, but also for the care team, because you have 11 disciplines committed to participate on a care plan for the senior. And it's all happening in this beautiful environment where you can see anybody that you need when you need them under that roof. You need a dentist, you need a podiatrist, you need an audiologist, you need your provider, you need your doctor. Let's have breakfast and let's go see your doctor. That is PACE.
Yeah, absolutely. So PACE is for a lot of folks, right, that are 55 and older. But one of the questions I wanted to ask, and we'll maybe go down back to you, Shadie, is like, well, PACE is for a lot of folks, and once they learn about it, they want to be a participant. But are there scenarios where maybe PACE isn't a right fit for somebody?
Yeah, I think there might be. Everybody has to really look at their own situation and see the resources that they're currently receiving, the resources that PACE can offer, and the resources that other programs may offer. But the resources within PACE generally encompass much of what any other program can offer, and then some. That's the beauty of it. We're not building home care. We're not building just clinics. We're not building just transportation. We're building a bubble, an entire wraparound hub of care services that these seniors can choose. And they may not have a need for some sort of support right now, but they may qualify for the program based on other needs. And in the future, if they do have that specific need, we will adjust to them. Care plans are redone regularly, at least twice a year for all of the individuals in PACE. And so with that said, there's no real answer why somebody wouldn't choose PACE. I mean, it's there. It's laid out everything that we can possibly do to serve a senior that requires support. I mean, there's no reason not to choose PACE in those situations.
Okay, well said. So you guys have grown over the years. You started, Maria, to clarify, Colorado was your first location, correct? Okay.
Now we have 6 locations in Colorado, you should know. Very good.
So 6 in Colorado. You mentioned a couple in Florida.
2 in Florida, 4 in Virginia, 4 in Pennsylvania, currently 3 in California, and more to come.
Okay, so
1 in New Mexico as well.
So tell me about the California locations. You mentioned Crenshaw. We have San Bernardino. Who am I forgetting here?
So you're forgetting Sacramento. So we have San Bernardino was our first location, and that was my very first PACE experience. I remember walking into that center after working for many, many years in healthcare, doing everything from durable medical equipment, pharmacy, home care, home health, you name it. I walked into that building and I knew PACE was my calling. It's just, you have to experience it, right? You have to come to a center. You need to see it. You need to feel it. You need to sense the community that takes place between those participants, families, and our team. Amazing. So yeah, so that was San Bernardino, our very first center. Then we opened Sacramento, and we acquired Crenshaw last year. Well, actually earlier this year.
Okay. Awesome. Now I can't believe I forgot Sacramento, because you guys just had a big celebration. Tell us about that.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Sacramento, it's has been a project of love for us. We opened Sacramento in the middle of a pandemic, which was something that is not, first of all, a pandemic is not a normal thing for anyone. Yep. And we all understand what happened and how it affected healthcare in general. But opening the center during the pandemic was quite a challenge because we couldn't follow our normal approach.
Right.
But yes, I mean, we went through it. And if you see that center today and how happy our participants are, I mean, we have 95% of our participants in that center say that services improve the quality of their life. 95% will recommend services to friends or family members. Our census in Sacramento is growing exponentially. Our quality scores are amazing. Our employee retention is great. Our compliance scores are great. It's been an effort, a conscious effort to deliver to the community what InnovAge can. But we had to recover from the pandemic, be able to come from those center closures, from all the things that happened during that time, and be able to put our effort and make it look like an InnovAge facility, make it perform like an InnovAge facility. And it is.
Awesome.
It is. We're very proud of that leadership team. So Jenny Rojas is our center director there. So she's listening to this. We're very proud of her.
Nice little shout out for Jenny. Awesome. I do remember when you guys first opened, I was up in Sacramento at a senior event, and I remember some of your, I don't know if you call them community liaisons.
Yes.
But they were saying, hey, come tour, come visit us, come check it out. So your locations, what do you call them? Do you call them community centers? Do you call them sites? What's the proper?
So we call them PACE centers. That's it. Very easy. It's not a day center. It's not a medical center. It's a PACE center. And you have to see it to understand it, because it has a day center component where you have recreation and activities, and you have ping pong tables and, all the things that happen in activity. You also have restaurant style dining for breakfast and lunch and snacks and all of that. But there is also the clinical aspect of things, right? Which is your dentistry, your social work, your physical therapy, your occupational therapy, speech. You have it all under one roof. And we only take care of PACE participants.
Awesome.
That's it.
And so for visiting, yes, your PACE centers are available to be toured, right, by healthcare professionals. Yes. Yes. I don't have to be a potential participant to get a tour, correct?
No, please don't wait to need the service to visit PACE, because we need to understand what options we have in healthcare. So yes, if you want to see PACE, if you want to see InnovAge, you don't need to be a potential participant. Just come and see what healthcare has to offer. Allow us to show you what PACE is about. You never know. Maybe a family member in the future, or yourself. I always say, the day I hit 55, if I meet the qualification criteria, I'll be coming to PACE.
Yeah. All right.
It's one of those things where seeing is believing. Yeah. Being on the outreach side of things, and you mentioned our outreach specialist earlier, the way that we can educate individuals and family members most on the program is when they enter through our doors and they actually see it, because this is seeing is believing. There's no better way to describe the program or explain the program than to see it in action. So stop in at one of our centers. We will give you a tour. We will give you whatever information you need to fully understand the program and what it's about.
Awesome. Thanks, Shadie. So let's stick with you, Shadie. So you guys have grown. We talked about the different states. InnovAge was in the news a few years back with your Colorado location. And so you guys went through, I think, some growing pains at the time. Shadie, can you talk about how, that event a few years back has helped you guys grow?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a challenge, but with challenges, we gain experience, and with experience under our belt, we see more opportunities. The opportunity to streamline some of our process, standardize things across the country, not just in Colorado, but in the other 5 states that we're serving as well. And so through those experiences and through streamlining processes, our standardization of protocols, improving the technology that we have, we've come a long way to the point where working with the trade associations, NPA and CalPACE, just mentioning too, we're connecting with other programs and letting them learn about our experiences as well. And we're trying to put best practice and PACE across the country, not just within InnovAge. So from what we've learned, we've improved. We are providing quality care, like Maria said, in Sacramento, for example. She shared some of our measures, but not just within InnovAge, but for other PACE organizations as well.
Okay, awesome. So folks can tour. We have California. There's folks throughout Florida, all the different states. So if you talk to your local location, just say, hey, Maria and Shadie invited me to go take a tour, right? Do they need to schedule? Should they just show up and get a tour? Or should they call ahead so they actually have someone to walk them around? What would you recommend?
Check to make sure it's in normal business hours. Don't show up in the middle of the night, right? But yeah, you can go on our website, innovage.com, check it out. If you find one of our flyers, if you've been educated by one of our community members, or you have one of their cards, give them a call. They will connect you with somebody that can give you a tour. If you're in the area and you see some buses out front and you want to stop in for a tour, please do so. Our doors are open to you to come in and tour. But if you want the full experience, connect with one of the outreach specialists, and we'll give you a handheld tour.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. And if folks want to learn more about InnovAge besides the tour, should they check out your website? Any recommendations there?
Yeah, check out our website. We do have some YouTube videos to connect to as well. They offer tours in our centers and some more information about what the program's all about.
Okay, awesome. Guys, I've gone through my prepared questions. I did my homework. I've learned a lot. Anything else you think our audience should know today?
I don't know, Maria.
I mean, if you want to know about PACE, come and see us. And if you wonder who InnovAge is and what InnovAge stands for, InnovAge stands for PACE. InnovAge is Shadie, myself, is every employee in the organization. It's our executive leadership team that has a vision and a mission. And it's every single participant that we serve, every community that we touch. And please know that we don't take this privilege for granted. We are absolutely honored to be able to operate PACE in all the states that we do, and many more to come.
Yep, we are tried and true PACE. This is what we do across the country in every state that we serve. We are a PACE provider. That's our bread and butter. That's what we do.
All right. Well, Shadie, Maria, really appreciate you guys joining today and working with your schedules and making this happen today as a true privilege. I really appreciate you guys joining the show today.
Thanks, Gavin. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. A pleasure meeting you. Take care.
Likewise.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Pop Health Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and if you have and want to check out other episodes, visit us at pophealthpodcast.com, iTunes or Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, and now YouTube as well. Take care.